thefourpersons.com. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Four Persons Live Stream, the
Good
number
morning.
one podcast in Gardner, Kansas, and other places. How you doing, Richard?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great on this Tuesday of Holy Week. Looking forward with great anticipation. I'm sorry, of Passion Week. Looking forward to great anticipation to Easter and the Easter season. How about you?
I am waiting with great anticipation for the Easter Vigil because that's when all of my OCIA students become Catholic.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that's I'm going to be I'm his sponsor, and he's entering into the Catholic Church. I'm very excited about that. Very excited for him. And we had a fun show today. We did a show recently, and unfortunately, I asked Lisa to join us today, and she was not able to. But we did a fun show recently of the top 25 saints, most impactful saints, and we're going to do one similar today. And what we're going to do is I asked Super Grok to compile a list of the 25 top Catholic destinations in the world. And the primary criteria is number of visitors per year. That's not the only criteria, but that was the primary criteria. So these are the places where people are going. Um, Catholic destinations that people are going to. And so when I reviewed the list, um, I've actually been to 5 of them, and there's a few more that I hope to knock out this year and one next year. But what I want to do is, so I know you and I both are probably in agreement that if money and time were no object, obviously we would want to go to all 25 if we could. If money and time were no object.
Exactly.
Are you in a position where money and time is no object?
I wish.
Yeah, well, I'm not either. So, unfortunately, we can't, approach this list. So, with that vantage point, but just for fun, what I want you to do is each one of the ones that I bring up, I want you to give me your thoughts, and I want you to rate it from 0 to 3. Okay, 0 meaning I have no interest in going there. 1 meaning, sure, I'd love to go there if given the opportunity, and somebody else is going and I can tag along. 2, I have a high interest in going there if somehow it would work out. Or 3, it's on my bucket list and I absolutely have to make a trip to this place before I leave this earth. And let's just say you can have no more than, say, 5 on your bucket list. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay, so that's the criteria that we're going to use. And so I'll start off. I'll make a commentary about whether I've been there or not, whether I plan on going there or not, and why. And then I'll hand it off to you for your commentary. Are you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Okay, so number 25 is the St. Joseph Oratory in Montreal, Canada, and I'm trying to arrange to go there in July, and and maybe me and you could even go together since I had to move things around on the Israel trip again. But one of the famous saints of the Catholic Church, and I believe it was Saint Martin. Um, it's one of the Saint Martins, and it's escaping me right now. But he was a porter at this church in Montreal for years, for decades, and at his death, 1 million pilgrims showed up at his death. He was so beloved.
You mean
Uh,
Saint Andre Bessette?
yeah, yeah, that's who it was. I don't know why I couldn't remember. Thank you for the save there. Um, but have you seen pictures of this church? It's
Yes.
just magnificent, right? It's just so gorgeous, and that's the primary reason why I want to go. So that's number 25. Your thoughts?
I'd give it a solid two. It's a beautiful church. I'd love to see it. I'd love to have a chance to go to the tomb of Saint Andre Bessette. I remember when he was canonized, but it's not a bucket list item.
Okay. So in other words, you're not going to consider, feel like it's a failure if you don't get the opportunity. But if you did, you certainly would take advantage of it.
Correct.
Okay. Um, Number 24, Sanctuary of Our Lady of Lichen in Poland, large modern shrine with a miraculous image, over 1 million visits annually. I don't know a lot about this one. I'm going to rate this one as a one. I'd certainly be willing to go there if given the opportunity. But again, not a bucket list. What do you think?
I would agree as the number one. Um, I don't know much about it, haven't heard a whole lot about it, which tells me that maybe it's not the big deal that we want it to be or think it is.
Yep. Number 23, I'm going to give as a three. I won't be crushed if I can't go, but I kind of would like to go because I like this saint a lot. She's one of the saints of impossible causes. At number 23 is the Basilica of Saint Rita of Cassia in Cassia, Italy. And let me put it to you this way. If I were to be fortunate enough to be able to put together an Italy trip, I would try to make sure that this is on the itinerary of that trip. Would I make a special trip to Italy just to see this one shrine? Probably not. But if I were going to Italy, I would probably try to make sure that it's on the itinerary. What are your thoughts?
It's a hard three for me, and I mean a high three, real
Yeah,
close to being a four, but not quite there.
yeah. The next one I have been to. This is one of the ones that I've been to. The experience was overwhelming. So the question in my mind is not would I want to go, but would I want to go again? And I'm going to give it a very strong two, that I would like to go to again. I saw a veil of Our Lady, a veil that was actually worn by Our Lady. There's miraculous stories um, about this cathedral, and the cathedral is undergoing a very extensive cleaning and restoration, which is something that I think is really really wonderful. And that is the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Chartres, not to be confused with the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris. This is the one in Chartres. Um, Richard, your thoughts?
I'd have to give it a one. Um, I know of it, and I know that a veil of Our Lady is there, and the only reason I would want to go is to see the veil of Our Lady.
Okay.
but it's not someplace I'm overly excited about going either.
So let me pose a scenario I posed a few minutes ago about Italy here. And let's just say you have an opportunity to make a pilgrimage to France. Would you try to make sure it's on the itinerary or you know, what do you think?
I would try to make sure it's on the itinerary.
But if it's not, you wouldn't be crushed.
I wouldn't be crushed, and it's not a life ender if I never make it there.
Yeah. Yeah. And Richard and I are not impugning any of these places. What we're saying is you got to make choices. These are 25 places that are all over the place, and it's just impossible, practically impossible for us to go to all of them. So we would have to choose. Now, number 21, I'm going to say for me is I really can't even say a one. I'm going to say a zero. Okay. It's, I mean, I've seen pictures of it. It's a beautiful church. It's wonderful, but it's too far away and too isolated. And there's nothing in particular that I would be going to that would attract me to go this far for this church. And that is the National Shrine of Our Mother of Perpetual Help in the Philippines. Now, the Philippines, that's as far away from us as you can possibly get. That's
Yeah,
halfway around the world. Well, I mean, would you agree with me that this would really not be a priority?
it's definitely not a priority. If I was going to the Philippines, maybe yeah, but there are other places in the Philippines that I'd want to uh, see, um, such
Yeah,
as the Jesus statue in Manila, the Black Nazarene.
yeah, yeah. So I'm going to agree with you. If I was already going to the Philippines, then maybe I would try to find a way to make it to this particular shrine. But as for making a special trip to the Philippines to visit just this shrine, no, no way. Uh,
Exactly.
the This is an ancient Marian devotion site. It's re, it's reputed to be the first church dedicated to Mary. At number 20, the Basilica of Our Lady of the Pillar in Zaragoza, Spain. I'm gonna say this as this is another one that, I mean, it's first church dedicated to Mary. That is significant. I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to say that it's a one or a two. If I was going on a pilgrimage to Spain, I would try to fit it in on the itinerary. But for making a special pilgrimage to Spain just to visit this one, you wouldn't do that, would you?
No, no, I would not make a special trip to Spain just for this church.
Right. Okay. So at 19 is another one that I have been to. The experience was incredible. I would definitely like to go again. This is going to be a three. I've been there, but it's going to be a three for me to try to get back there again someday. It's one of the sites on the Sword of Saint Michael, and that is Mont Saint Michel Abbey in France.
That's a one or a two for me.
Is it? It's
Yeah. I mean, if I were going to France, I would want to see it, but I wouldn't go to France just to see it.
right. It's just an archaeological marvel. It's a spectacular, cathedral that's built up in this mountain. Um, it just it's unbelievable. Um,
Although if
number
I were doing the St. Michael's sword pilgrimage, then of course I would want to go there.
Yeah, then yeah, in the context of doing all seven on the sword, would be a yeah. But as to make a special trip to France just for this one, um, to go just to this one place, no. Um, The interesting one, number 18, I haven't been to this particular place, but I've been to a place associated with this saint, and this is the Basilica of Saint Anthony of Padua in Padua, Italy. Now, I've been to the Church of Saint Anthony of Padua in Lisbon, Portugal, where he was born. Okay, but I
Hmm.
haven't been to the Basilica in Italy. Again, this is going to be one of those ones where no, I'm not making a special trip to Italy just to see the Basilica of St. Anthony of Padua. But if I had a 2 week pilgrimage in Italy, sure, I'd love to fit it on the itinerary. What do you think?
I would agree with that. Um, I would try to fit it in on a 2 week itinerary if I could, but I'm not going all the way to Italy just to see this church.
Right. All right. Number 17. Now, for me, this is a three. This is one of those ones where I would make a special trip just to this country just to see this particular basilica. And it's so this is a bucket list item for me, and that is the Basilica of the Holy House, the Holy Family in Loreto, the traditional site that was miraculously transported from Nazareth, draws millions of followers every year. The Basilica of the Holy House. How does it rank for you, Richard?
That is definitely a three, a hard three. That is a
Yeah,
bucket list item.
yeah, that is this that that's a big one. That's a big one, and I'm kind of surprised that it's ranked down so low. I would have figured it would have been higher than 17. 16, I mean, a one at best. It is a site of significance, but again, it's so far away, and I just can't imagine. It's so far away, it's isolated. I can't imagine myself making a trip to this place just to see this, and that's the Shrine of Our Lady of Lavang in Vietnam.
I'm not going to Vietnam. I just that's like the Philippines. That's you can't get much further away than Vietnam.
Right, right. I mean, if you could make an argument if the House of Loreto was in Vietnam, I mean, you could make an argument.
Yeah,
Uh, but for this shrine, this one particular shrine, I mean, sure, it's a beautiful shrine. Sure, it's a special shrine. I'm not going all the way to Vietnam just to see this one shrine. That's just not happening.
exactly.
Number 15. Now, this is interesting because I at number 25 was St. Joseph Oratory in Montreal, Canada, and this one is nearby. This one is also in Quebec, um, and so it's possible that you could do one and the other over a period of an extended weekend. So I'm definitely doing that. But it's well, I'm planning on doing it, but it's not a bucket list if I'm not able to pull it off. But I am planning on making the attempt, and that's the Basilica of Saint Anne in Quebec. It's
Saint Anne de
also
Beaupré.
yeah, famous for miraculous healings and devotion to Saint Anne's, a major North American shrine. Um, I'm going to say a solid two. What do you think?
Solid two. I was about to say a high two, but solid two works too.
Yeah. Um,
My
the
gra-
next
my
one,
grandparents went there.
yeah, I definitely want to go. The next one is I'm going to say a solid two. It could be pushed to a three if other nearby sites were brought into play. If it was part of a larger uh, you know part of bringing the sword of Saint Michael into the equation, or visits to other sites in this country. And that is the Shrine of Our Lady of Knock in Ireland. I mean, it is one of the ones that I do want to visit. Um, but am I going to fly? Am I going to be able to fly directly to Ireland just to see this one Marian shrine? And it is a miraculous Marian shrine, but again, we've already, you know, stated that we have limited time off, limited funds. I think this one makes the cut if it's part of a larger pilgrimage, but just going to Knock just to see this one shrine, I don't think I would be doing that. What do you think?
It's a solid 2.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I do want to see it.
as I recall, is Knock not the apparition where there were absolutely 0 words said, and there were multiple persons that made apparitions there?
I do believe that is correct. Yes.
Yeah,
So
I. It's close to a bucket list, but not quite.
yeah. Um, the next one I'm going to speak only for myself when I say this, so I'm just giving my own opinion. But it's a negative 457. You couldn't pay me enough money to go there. Wouldn't even think about dreaming about going there. Absolutely have no belief in this particular event. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. Wouldn't even consider it. And that is the Shrine of Our Lady of Medjugorje in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Your thoughts?
I'd never go back.
Oh, so you've been there.
I've been there once.
Okay.
Unlawfully, I might add.
Yeah. Um, the next one is one I might be convinced to because it's in our hemisphere. It's not that far. If it was part of a another pilgrimage, maybe not to, maybe it wouldn't have to be to this country, but nearby countries in the area, a larger pilgrimage, I might be convinced. So I'm going to say a 1.5, possibly could be pushed to a 2. That's the Basilica of Our Lady of Aparecida in Brazil. It's a home to a revered dark-skinned Marian image, one of the most visited shrines in Latin America, with millions of pilgrims. Is that where does that one fit on your list?
Somewhere between a 1 and a 2.
Yeah,
Um, Probably closer to a 2.
yeah. Next one, I have been to. Absolutely would go back. Absolutely will go back. It's a magnificent shrine, and it also happens to be the closest one to me of any on this list. So I probably not only will go back, but will go back repeatedly. I absolutely love this place. I was there just a couple of weeks ago, and that is at number 11, the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception in Washington, D.C. Your thoughts?
I have seen it. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful church. The priests have a special name for it that I will not repeat here. Um, but I
Hmm.
definitely want to go back when I have more time to spend time there.
I'd be interested in knowing what that name is. Maybe after the show, you can tell me when we're not on the air. Um,
Correct.
I think the next three I'm going to say are high twos. Um, maybe if my dreams are fulfilled, I'll be able to knock out all three in one whirlwind trip. Then that would certainly make it worth going. Um, I don't know that I could really justify going on a specific trip for any one of them, but as a package deal, I'll just give them to you in order. 10, the Shrine of the Divine Mercy in Krakow, Poland. 9, the Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi in Assisi, Italy. And 8, the Shrine of St. Padre Pio San Giovanni Rotondo in Italy. Those are all three very important destinations are they bucket list, Richard?
St. Padre Pio is a bucket list.
Is
St. Francis is a bucket list.
Divine
Because
Mercy?
that's where Divine Mercy, Poland's way far away from Italy.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I would do Divine Mercy for sure if I were doing a pilgrimage, a St. Boniface tour pilgrimage. Then I would definitely make my way to Krakow.
And stop in and see John Paul II would be part of that. Would be part of that tour too. Saint Maximilian Kolbe probably would be part of that, right?
Yeah, um, but at St. Francis, you've also got St. Carlo Acutis.
Yeah.
So
Well, here's another
that
one.
would be a double strike.
Here's another one in Poland that I missed this. This might make, if you put this in conjunction, it might make the Divine Mercy trip worth it. And that number 7 is the Jasna Gora Monastery of the Black Madonna in Czestochowa. So if you were
Czestochowa.
doing, yeah, Czestochowa. If you were doing a Czestochowa Krakow double, would it make it worth it?
Yes.
Okay.
The Black Madonna, absolutely.
Okay. Number 6 is one of the most visited sites in Spain, but unfortunately, I didn't get to see it. I would love to. I'm going to say it's a high 2. Um, I hope someday that I get to see it, and that is the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela in Santiago, Spain. Camino de Santiago, Spain. The tomb of Saint James the Apostle. What do you think?
Well, I've always wanted to do the Camino del Santiago.
Hmm.
Um,
How long does that take, by the way?
just a few days, I think.
A few days. Okay.
Yeah. I at one point I wanted to do it on my knees, but my knees would not take it now.
Yeah.
Um, but I heck, my feet wouldn't even take it now. But I still want to do it.
Yeah.
And I go to a church named for Saint James. So yeah, I'd want to see Santiago, but it's not a bucket list. It's a high 2.
Um, Number 5, definite bucket list. I haven't been there yet, but not for lack of trying. And the trip again has been pushed back to next year. This is the 4th time that this trip has been postponed. Um, and we have our own, me and Richard have our own opinions about all the craziness that's going on over there. And, we'll save that for another show. Um, Number 5 is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. To me, it's a high 3, maybe even a 4. What do you think?
I want to go back. I want to go back.
When were you there?
1986, March of 86,
Okay.
courtesy of Uncle Sam's Navy.
I'll bet the experience was just unbelievable.
It was. And the Israeli government made it a point to make sure that the Christians among us got to see all the Christian pilgrimage sites.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Masada.
Yeah.
And
There's
for those that don't know, Masada is a fortress built high up in the mountains in southern Israel.
Mhm.
And it's a biblical site.
Cool. Yeah, this is definitely a bucket list item for me, and I hope that I'm finally going to be able to go next year, next September. Number 4, one that I have been to. The experience was overwhelming. It's definitely a 3 to go back there. It was on my bucket list to go there. I went there. It's on my bucket list to go back again. Again, the experience was overwhelming. I can't even put it into words. And that was the sanctuary of Our Lady of Lourdes in France.
That's definitely a bucket list item. Um, God knows I need her healing.
Yeah,
I
the
need the
experience,
healing that people get there.
the experience of celebrating Mass in the grotto was something I can't even describe. Same with number three. I've been there. Want to go back? Experience was also overwhelming, and that's the sanctuary of Our Lady of Fatima in Portugal.
Bucket list.
Yeah, absolute. I think all of these are bucket lists once we get up to this point now.
Yes.
Up in the top five, I think they're all bucket lists. Same with number two. Definitely need to go there. Definitely want to go there. Um, that is Vatican City, Rome. Part of going there, I definitely, in addition to seeing the Vatican, I have to make a trip to the shrine of Saint Mary Major. That has to be part of the list. Definite bucket list. High three, maybe even a four. What do you think?
Definite bucket list. High four. Um, in fact, the rosary that I carry with me every day went through all of the holy doors in Rome during the Jubilee year.
Wow.
A friend of
And
mine
for
got
any,
it for me there.
that's wonderful. And for anyone who's following along, be honest with you, when I was, researching this and filing this list, I kind of thought Vatican City would be number one. I was kind of surprised that it wasn't. Um, the one that's number one, is absolutely a bucket list, and I will check it off of the bucket later on because I had to push the Israel trip to next year. This is going to be, um, I'm going to be spending a week long pilgrimage here and other sites in the country. And number one is the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico.
Amen. And I plan on taking that trip with you.
And yeah, overwhelming. The Tilma of Our Lady, the site of Saint Miguel Pro. I mean, it's just yeah,
Tepeyac Hill.
yeah, Tepeyac Hill. I was surprised that it was number one. But then when I thought about it, I thought that probably there's a lot of American pilgrims who can't afford the time and the cost of going to Europe or Italy. And this is a shrine that they can go to. Um, so definitely going there. I will tell you this: the one that just missed the countdown at number 26 when I
Uh huh.
expanded the list was the Shrine of Our Lady of Champion in Wisconsin, which of course
Wow.
I went to in January. So so we agree. Everyone in the top five is a well, actually top six is a bucket list. Uh, Santiago de Compostela, Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Sanctuary of Our Lady of Lourdes, Sanctuary of Our Lady of Fatima, Vatican City, Guadalupe. Those are all bucket list items. You agree?
Yes.
And
Plus Loretto and Assisi.
yeah, and isn't it amazing that we have these magnificent places that we can go to, and that people are not interested, or Catholics are not interested in going to places like this?
I don't get it. I mean, I, I would go to Vietnam, but that's a long way to go to see one site. or the
Yeah,
Philippines. But again, that's a long way to go to see two things.
yeah, and you know, and I think that, like I said, to me, it's not that I wouldn't want to go; it's that it would have to be in conjunction with something else.
Yeah.
For instance, maybe if I was going somewhere, you know, halfway between and then to the Philippines, or and it was part of a larger trip. But folks, here's why we're saying this, and we're not impugning the shrine of Our Lady of Perpetual Hope in the Philippines. Okay, just understand this logistically. I live in Virginia. Okay, Richard lives in
And I
Alabama.
live in Alabama.
To go, was that?
I said I live in Alabama.
Yeah, what I said. Richard lives in Alabama.
I know, I was saying it at the same time.
Oh, so to go to the Philippines, you're talking about 20 hours in a plane each way. That's what you're talking about.
That's a work week.
Yeah. Plus whatever time, and I don't know about, the layout of the Philippines or the topography, but you could be looking at 6, 8, 10 hours on a bus after you get out of the airport, because the airport, all the flights in the Philippines pretty much fly into Manila. So if it's a remote location in the Philippines, you're so, like you said, you're talking about, when you add it all up, it's a work week just traveling. So are
Yeah.
you going to dedicate a week to the maybe 6, 7, 8 hours that you're going to be able to spend at that one site? And when vacation, is a treasured commodity in the workplace, most of us are not in a position to be able to do that. Um, and a lot of us are looking for kind of trips that we can kind of turn around in a long weekend, or you know maybe a week's vacation. Um, a lot of people are not lucky enough to get 2 weeks vacation a year, and a lot of the people, most of the people that I know that get 2 weeks vacation a year, their employer has rules about, you can only take a week of it at a time. They won't let you take 2 full weeks of vacation. Well, how,
Exactly.
how are you going to do a long extended pilgrimage, to somewhere like France or Israel on a week's vacation? You can't do it. You can't. It's impossible. It's logistically impossible. Um, and then there's the cost. I mean, of flying to the Philippines round trip. Um, can't imagine it's very cheap. You know,
No, it's about $2,300.
yeah, yeah. That's not chump change. That's not chump change. Um, you know, so um, what did you think about our list today?
I think the list is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the top four right yesterday, just in the wrong order.
Yeah, yeah, you did. You did guess correctly. Guess who the top four were. You, like I would have guessed, if you put it to me and asked me to guess, I would have put the Vatican up top two. I would have figured that would have been the number one. Um, but
And I would
so
have figured Fatima number two.
yeah. So as far as what's on the list, I am uh, planning on going to the shrine of St. Anne, and the St. Joseph Oratory later this year. Uh, the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe next year, to the Holy Sepulchre. Um, Another one that I'm trying to go on, that was didn't make the list of the top 25, but it was not that far outside of the top 25, that I'm planning on going to, is the shrine of the Cathedral of Loreto in Santa Fe, New Mexico, the miraculous staircase that was built by Saint Joseph. I'm trying to see that as well. So, Well, thank you, Richard, for joining me today. What do you think about everything that we got going out on the four persons? We're putting out a lot of really good stuff, aren't we?
We're putting out a lot of really good stuff, and we've got a lot of we've got somebody paying very close attention to us.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody in Kansas spying on us. Um,
Gardner, Kansas, at that.
yeah. Well, I mean, um, if he would spend half as much effort in creating good content rather than blatantly stealing people's content, I mean, he has literally been taking articles that I wrote, okay, taking my name off of them, slapping his moniker on the front of them, and presenting him as if he wrote them. I mean,
Hmm.
it's unbelievable. He doesn't have any shame. He posted something the other day about a breakdown of the song "Let It Be" by the Beatles, which was an article that I wrote. That's a song very near and dear to my heart. And of course, he stole material from William Hemsworth and Terry Delp and Ken Litchfield and just and he steals material daily from Franciscan media. How many times has Franciscan media said denied his claim that he has special permission, and yet he still keeps posting that he has special permission, and that doesn't even have the integrity to even spell their name right. It's incredible.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but you know, even if he has their permission to post it, I don't think that permission extends to posting it without giving proper credit
Yeah.
or at
So
least a link back.
you're in the legal profession,
That's what
okay?
they tell me.
Yeah. So I'm going to describe my understanding of quote fair use unquote, and you tell me if my understanding of fair use is correct. All
Okay.
right. So if I was writing an article about, oh, I don't know, bumblebees. Let's say I was writing an article about bumblebees, and I wanted to cite some specific information given by a specific authority on bumblebees, and say it was a Professor Jack Smith, okay? And I cited an article by Jack Smith. I could cite a paragraph of that article and say, cited from Jack Smith article on bumblebees from the National Wildlife Review, July 1977 edition, whatever. Proper citation, put the point of origin, and then just enough of the material to cite the specific argument I'm making in the overall presentation, right?
Correct.
That would be a proper use of fair use, right?
Correct.
So if I cite an entire article verbatim, copy and paste an entire article, even if I were to cite the author, is that an example of fair use?
No. You got to cite the source, not just the author.
And I need to and I'm only allowed under fair use to cite as much of the material as I need to make a specific point.
Correct.
I'm not allowed to just represent their entire work verbatim, slap my name on it, and call it my own.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, I mean, and that's what happens on a daily basis with this guy, not only with Franciscan media, but with just everybody else that he steals from. And that's why he's alienated everybody else that's ever been involved with him. And he's pretty much flying solo. Um, and it's a shame because we got a great team here with you and Lisa and William is just putting out some great stuff, and Lisa's putting out some great stuff, and um, Ken Litchfield's apologetics articles are just fantastic.
Amen.
And
Williams work is amazing.
yeah, And even the articles and the live streams that me and you are putting out, um, we're not afraid to poke the bear. we're
Nope,
we're not.
nope.
We
We're
we
poking the bear right now, as a matter of fact.
we say exactly what's on our mind, and we're not some blind politicos, either one side or the other. Okay, if the Republicans got it right, then we're going to say the Republicans got it right. But if the Republicans got it wrong, we're going to say the Republicans got it wrong. Our loyalty is to God and to Mother Church. Period. End of sentence.
Amen.
And that's just the way that we are, and we're going to call it like we see it. And the funny thing about it is that a lot of the luminaries in the church, like Cardinal Pizzabella and the Pope, are coming out now and saying things that we were saying weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's it just we're just very open and honest. We've been open and honest in our defense of people like Kerry Voller, who's being persecuted, um, and we're just going to call it like it is. Um, and when it comes to war, um, we have a very sober view of war. There is a time and a place when a country needs to go to war. The country needs to defend itself, needs to defend its interests, needs to defend innocent people. And there's also a time when tin pan generals, are trying to bring about the end of the world by, uh, creating war and havoc in the Middle East. We're going to call that out too.
Yep.
It's, and if you don't like what we're doing in calling these things out, then I would pleasantly invite you to take our 3-step plan, and that is step one, cry me a river. Step two, build a bridge. Step three, get over it. That's our three-step plan. What do you think?
Yep. I think that's a perfect 3-step plan.
Yep. Well, God bless you, Richard. You have a wonderful day, and we'll try and do this again tomorrow.
Sounds good. God
I'll
bless
see
you,
you.
John.
All right, bye.